Okay, so today we're diving deep into something that's probably on everyone's mind, at least from time to time, right? Saving money.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It can feel kind of overwhelming, like, where do you even start?
Right, exactly.
Oh.
So, based on what you found, we're going to try to break it down into some actionable strategies. Hopefully, things people can actually use to see results and quickly,
I think that's key, seeing those results quickly. It helps keep you motivated.
for sure. So, we're talking about things like, well, I guess the first step would be to even just figure out where your money's going in the first place.
Absolutely. That's where the document really starts too, tracking your expenses.
Yeah, I mean, it seems so basic, right?
Yeah.
But do you actually do it?
Honestly, not as consistently as I should, but
Yeah.
even just doing it for a week or two, like really writing down everything, it can be eye-opening.
Oh, yeah. It's funny how those little, $5 here, $10 there things, they don't seem like much at the time.
But then you add it all up.
Yeah, and then you're like, whoa, where did all my money go?
Exactly. So once you have a better handle on where your money is actually going, that's when you can start setting those goals.
Right. So it's not just about, like, generally wanting to save more. It's about having a specific target.
Yeah, like what are you actually saving for? Is it an emergency fund, a down payment on a house, a vacation?
Whatever it is, but having a clear goal in mind and maybe even a deadline.
Definitely a deadline.
Yeah,
Because then you can break down that larger amount into smaller weekly or monthly targets. It just makes the whole thing seem a lot less daunting.
totally. You're breaking it down into those bite-sized pieces.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that came up that I thought was really interesting, and it almost sounds too easy, is this idea of automating your savings.
Ah, yeah. This is one of my favorites, honestly.
So how does this actually work?
So it's pretty straightforward, really. You just set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account. And the beauty of it is you can start with a small amount, whatever you're comfortable with.
It could be like $10 a week or something.
Exactly, even $5 a week. It all adds up over time. And the best part is you don't even have to think about it.
You just kind of set it and forget it.
Exactly, it's happening in the background.
Okay, so while that's happening passively, what are some more active steps we can take?
Well, one area where a lot of people can save money without even really changing their lifestyle is
Oh
subscriptions.
yeah, those sneaky subscriptions.
It's so easy to sign up for something and then totally forget about it.
I am so guilty of this. Like the free trial that turns into a paid subscription. I've done that way too many times.
We've all been there. Streaming services, music subscriptions, gym memberships you never use, those software subscriptions. It all adds up.
So it's time for a good old-fashioned audit of all your subscriptions.
Yes, cancel anything you don't use regularly. You might be surprised how much you can save.
Now, let's talk about something we all do and where I know I personally could probably save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Eating out.
Oh, yeah, food. It's definitely a big one.
I love going out to restaurants, but it's expensive.
It is. And it can be so much cheaper and often healthier to cook at home.
But sometimes it just feels so time-consuming.
Totally get it. But that's where meal prepping can be a game changer.
Oh, right.
The document mentions this as a really effective strategy. You take one day a week, cook a bunch of meals for the week, portion them out, and you're good to go.
So you're less tempted to just grab takeout because you already have something ready to go.
Exactly. And think about it. You could easily be saving hundreds of dollars a month just by eating out a little less.
That's a compelling argument.
Yeah.
Now, another interesting idea from the document was this whole cash envelope system.
Oh, yeah. This is an old school method, but it can be really effective for some people.
So for those who haven't heard of it, how does this work?
Basically, you decide how much you want to spend each month on certain categories, like groceries, entertainment, or whatever.
So it's like budgeting, but with actual cash?
Right. So you put that amount of cash in an envelope labeled for that category. And once the cash is gone, that's it. You can't spend any more in that category for the month.
It's like a physical reminder of your budget.
Exactly. Some people find that it really helps them stay on track. It makes it more real.
It's definitely a more tangible way to think about your spending. Now, we can't avoid spending money altogether. So are there any tips for being a more savvy shopper?
Definitely. One of the simplest things is buying in bulk, especially for non-perishable items that you use regularly.
Like toilet paper and toothpaste and stuff.
Exactly. Often you get a lower price per unit when you buy in bulk.
Makes sense. And then there's the whole world of coupons and discounts.
Yes. So Many stores have loyalty programs or offer digital coupons through their apps. Don't be afraid to use them.
And cashback apps are pretty popular these days too, right?
Oh, yeah. There are some great apps out there that give you cash back on purchases you were going to make anyway. It's basically free money.
Can't argue with that. Now, here's a way to actually generate some extra cash to add to your savings, selling your unwanted stuff.
This is a great one. It's like a double win. You declutter your home and make some extra money.
Yeah, I know I have a ton of clothes and old electronics just sitting around collecting dust.
Perfect. There are so many online platforms where you can easily sell those things. It's easier than ever.
And, saving money doesn't mean you have to stay home and be bored all the time.
No, not at all. There are tons of fun and affordable ways to enjoy yourself.
Like what? Give us some ideas.
Think about local parks, free concerts or events in your community, libraries, museums, hiking trails.
Oh, yeah. Libraries. I always forget about libraries.
They have so much more than just books these days, and a lot of them offer free programs and events.
And even just having friends over for a potluck dinner or a game night can be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Being social doesn't have to break the bank.
Okay, one last tip I wanted to touch on. This is for those moments when you're about to make an impulse purchase you might regret later. The 24-hour rule. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this one is super simple but really powerful. If you see something you want to buy, but it's not essential, wait 24 hours before you buy it.
So you're basically giving yourself a cooling off period.
Exactly. Oftentimes, that urge to buy will pass and you'll realize you didn't really need it after all. And if you're still thinking about it after 24 hours, then maybe it's something you really do want.
I love that. It's such a simple but effective way to avoid those impulse buys that we end up regretting later.
Totally.
Well, it sounds like there are a lot of different strategies we can use to get better at saving money, both big and small.
Absolutely. And the key is to find what works for you and your lifestyle.
It's not about deprivation, it's about being more mindful and intentional with your money. So for everyone listening out there, think about all these different approaches we've talked about. What's one small change you could make today to start saving a little bit more? Doesn't have to be a huge thing, just something to get you started.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Thanks for sharing your research and diving deep into this with me. It was super informative.
My pleasure.
And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.